Alrighty, good Sunday evening, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great Mummies Day. We got a special guest over here. We got Jay Tractor 5474. If y'all been around my channel for any period of time, Jay is OG. He was here when I started the channel, so
back in the day.
Great to have him up here.
What's going on, ATV?
Not a whole lot. Just
we got Lisa
my usual, same old crazy self. So
let's see. We got Lisa Ann in the chat. Hello, dear. Thank you for stopping in. Kane, how you doing, buddy? Ben,
what's going
how
on,
you doing?
Lisa? Kane, Ben.
I watched Ben's video. I watched Ben's video on starting those camp stoves. I like them old camp stoves like he's got. He's got the ones that run on the paraffin or we call it kerosene.
Yeah.
So, and those things
Some people
are cool
call it camp fuel.
Yeah, well, they call it paraffin over there.
Yeah.
But he runs his off of kerosene, and it looks like they burn just as good, if not better. Hey, there's Rail. There's Tommy. How you guys doing tonight? So I went over with my brother and my nephew and had dinner with my mom today. Had pizza. So she was feeling under the weather yesterday. Hey, there's Bocce. Stupid ads. Yep, stupid ads. Bears got to get paid.
You made it 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, them stupid ads are so YouTube could get richer off of people.
Yep. For every I get $2.46 for every 1,000 views. So
and they're probably making a heck of a lot more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. You just hit that skip button.
So, Puller, what you been doing with your pull tractors? Is the season started up yet?
They had a test and tune last weekend. The official start of the season, or no, it was official start of the season last weekend.
Right on.
They have another one coming up this weekend. So I got the head gasket put on it. I just got to put the intake and carburetor and the exhaust on it. Throw some fuel in her. Adjust the timing, and hopefully she's ready to go and run a lot better this year.
Cool.
And Lisa is still having problems with her Facebook, so do not accept a friend request from her.
No.
So
I made another Facebook. I will message them before I add them.
I don't add people on Facebook no more anyway because there's too many people copying other people's accounts and ripping them off.
But I'm gonna say Instagram.
If I was already friends with somebody and they resend me a friend request, I don't accept it.
Exactly.
And I accept.
I will message them and I will tell them something that I know about them that nobody else knows.
Well,
and that does include going to jail.
Delisa she's had to make another account, but she will message you and let you know before that it's her.
I will say
she will use something that she knows about you in the message, so
and I will say it, and then
so you know that it's safe to accept the friend request. So
right on. What's going on, Second Chance?
Hey, Second Chance.
Hey, Second Chance. Hey, Ken. How you guys doing? Thank you for stopping in. But yeah, I'm getting closer to getting the tractor done.
Cool.
Stuff I should have done probably a couple months ago, but just didn't have time or didn't have the energy or whatever to do her. So,
what's up, Breezy?
Hey, Breezy.
Long time no see, Breezy.
Yeah, kind of looks like you more got a headache there, Ed.
A little bit.
I mean, at least you ain't found no cracks or anything other than the gasket. So
yeah. Well, and I think what it was, that's the same company I've used forever. to buy the head gaskets from. I don't think they annealed those head gaskets because when I did them today, they were a whole lot softer than when I put them on originally.
So you think they didn't temper them quite right on the first batch? Overheated and cracked it?
Tommy's asking hey, Jungle Bob, what's happening? Tommy's asking what the engine is. My engine is a 25 horse Kohler Command, and in this engine, I'm gonna guess at what's been done because I've never actually had this engine apart, other than having the heads off of it. I think it's got a cam in it, flat top pistons, and the heads have been welded up for a closed chamber head on it. That's as much as I know about it. There's aftermarket adjustable rockers on it too. But in my other engines, I do a long stroke crank, billet rods with bearings in them, flat top pistons, and I get the rods and pistons to match up to bring it up to a flat deck. It doesn't stay below the deck. And then port and polish them, bigger valves, different crankshaft or camshaft in them, adjustable camshaft. All in this one I'm running now, I did put adjustable electronic ignition on it, or a crank trigger. Got a 23 hours Pro. I've never messed with the liquid cool coolers.
Hey, Puller, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever tried to run dual carbs on a V-twin?
I haven't, but there's other guys that have. But by the rules, we're only allowed a single carb with a certain size.
I don't mean for the pull tractor. I mean just run it and get it where it works right on a V-twin.
Yes. There was actually some guys pulling them for a couple of years until they made the rule that you can only have one carburetor. Yeah. They use a 1-inch carb per cylinder. They set it up just like a single cylinder. Has a 6-inch standoff on them, but then they link the throttle linkages together to make them, both work at the same time.
Because I got that V-twin Briggs, I'm thinking about, instead of that single carb, I'm thinking about running dual carbs on it and pulling the sleeves out the exhaust ports so it opens up the exhaust and bumps it up.
Yeah.
Because from the research I've done, the 14, 16, and 18 horse Briggs V-twin are all the same bore and stroke and all. It's just a difference in the intake size for the carb, and the exhaust port. It's got the metal sleeves in it to choke them down.
Yeah, that's basically the same on the. Now there's different bores on the commands to get your bigger cubic inches, but you can bore or port and polish and put bigger valves in the 20 horses and make them run just as good as the 25s. I was running that 39 cubic inch, that 20 horse in the 25 horse class, and I was placing top tractors the whole time I was running it until I finally wore the bore down enough that it just didn't have enough compression to run anymore. But that was all in the cam, in the cam and the head work I had done.
Right.
And there's Jeffy. Hi, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Mater. I didn't see you come in. How you doing, buddy?
Hey,
thank you for stopping.
Hey, Jeff.
Sorry, I'm late.
It's all right.
You just on time, Jeff. I mean, usually about 10 minutes.
Just making an entrance.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's what it is. He shows up about 10 minutes after every week. So.
Hey, Lisa,
that keeps me from having to pay overtime.
Yeah.
Ken says I'm late. I guess that means I got work extra today.
Well, Puller, it's like you do everybody else. Pay them all the same, no attention.
Oh, we like Jeffy. So, I run a flat top because the stock Kohler Command pistons are dish pistons, so it does running a flat top piston actually ups the compression. When you start getting the dome pistons in them, you start running into problems with interference with the valves.
And blowing head gaskets too, probably from the pressure build.
Yeah, and they really haven't shown on alcohol that a dome piston actually helps any.
Hey, Thomas.
Would a dome piston work better with regular gas than alcohol?
Yes, they work better with lower octane fuels
Okay.
because you're up in your compression, um, and making the combustion chamber smaller. Now, if you put higher octane fuel in it, yes, it'll run even better.
Yeah.
But
you can get to the point where you're overdoing it, though, right?
yeah.
I mean,
Mark and I have actually been discussing de-stroking an engine and bringing the compression down on it so that we can get more fuel into the combustion chamber.
Running at a higher RPM.
Mm-hmm. Just like your old V8s.
Yeah, like when they used to de-stroke. What was it? They took a 350 block and put a 260 crank in it, I think, and de-stroked it to a 302.
Yeah, something right along that line, Jip.
And I think they said they'd turn them like 10 or 11,000 RPM. I'm like, good Lord.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you're especially on the commands, the heads are what makes your power.
Yeah.
Your cam, your pistons, or your cams, your valve, rockers, all that stuff is where you make your horsepower at.
Hey, Cajun.
hello, kids.
Hey, Ed,
Hey,
Tractor,
Cajun.
Daryl, Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Cajun.
Yes,
Tractor,
Tommy.
I got a question for you. Or do you know a little guy named Coin Collector, Ohio? His name's Dallas.
I don't know him. No.
Tractor.
I've heard the name, but I don't know him, no.
Okay, because I used to hang around with Dallas and a few other guys, and there was somebody by that name, Tractor 5474. Maybe not quite that number, that used to hang around with us in the coin community. And he worked on racing tractors, pulling tractors, and regular, lawn tractors.
Yeah.
That's
That
not you.
don't sound too
That
good,
ain't me.
Thomas.
Okay.
Ouch,
No,
Thomas.
I do with mini bikes and go-karts and some stuff like that.
Okay.
I built a mini chopper called the Fat Cycle.
Okay.
Awesome
Yeah.
little
I
bike.
thought it might have been you that used to hang
No.
around with us in the coin group.
I got started going over to different ones in the coin community for a little bit there, but I didn't do a whole lot because that wasn't really the stuff I was into at the time.
Okay. All right.
Jay, if y'all don't know, Jay is a master fabricator. Don't let him lie to you.
No.
I like to tinker. All right, I like to tinker.
Hey,
Which
that sounds familiar.
I got a new project I'm wanting to start on for too long here, Puller.
What's that?
I'm taking an old, it's called a Bad Boy, 48 volt 4-wheel drive buggy
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
that I got the frame's rotted out on. I'm going to build a new custom frame, kind of like a rock crawler, and I'm going to put half the batteries over the front axle and half the batteries over the back axle so I can kind of get the seats down a little bit lower
Mm-hmm.
and work with the suspension and all when I rebuild it and make a 4-wheel drive rock crawler out of it.
Does it have like regular golf cart batteries in it?
Yeah, 6 volt.
I just bought a bunch of golf cart batteries. For 6 of them was $990 some dollars, some odd cents.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking at the lithium ones.
Yeah.
They're less than half the weight. There's only 3 of them. Now it's $1,200 for the batteries and the charger
Uh-huh.
with it, but they have a 10-year guarantee.
Really?
So, yeah. So
That might be something I might need to start checking and looking at for
See what
when I get everything built.
well, for $300, that's the price of a regular charger for regular golf cart batteries.
Yeah.
But
Well, I
the
got a
10,
48-volt charger here at the house that goes to it.
yeah, but the 10-year guarantee is what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
know?
definitely. Because
And
most
from
of the time, 4 years out of a golf cart and you got to replace the batteries?
4 to 5,
Yeah, if you're lucky.
yeah.
No.
But what I was looking at is these guys are actually putting a heavier draw on them with the
Uh-huh.
with the bigger controllers and stuff, and they're not having an issue with them.
Really?
And the nice thing about the
No,
lithiums
I'll
is
get you something else to eat in a little bit.
the nicest thing about the lithiums is you can mount them in any position you want.
Uh-huh.
So you can lay it. They're about as tall as a regular golf cart battery, really a little bit taller.
Mm-hmm.
But you can lay them on their side, or whatever. Move them around. They don't have to be, sitting in there just like a regular golf cart battery.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you wanted to lay them down flat underneath your seat, right dead center for the center, center of gravity,
Mm-hmm.
right there it is. But you're gonna lose so much weight with the less than lead batteries.
Yeah.
Lithium in the
Well,
old,
I ain't gonna have to worry about the center of gravity too much with my fat butt sitting in it anyway. I'm gonna hold the center of gravity down anyway.
Right. But I'm trying to talk my boss into doing a set on our next 48-volt golf cart.
Yeah.
But
I thought about if I didn't put the new electric motors and all on it, is taking the old ones and build me a spur shaft to come out the axles and hook them to a chain setup and running that V twin motor on it to run the front and rear axle.
Yeah, you can actually do that, but on the electric golf cart transaxle, you have to build an outboard bearing to support that. That shaft is supported by the bearing side of the motor
and the actual housing of the motor.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't just put a shaft on there because you'll walk it. So you have to put an outboard bearing support on there.
Yeah, I've thought about that, trying to figure out the best way of doing that to have the strength without compromising anything.
What a lot of the guys do is I'll take the housing of the motor and cut it down like 4 inches, and then they just take the shaft out of the center of the motor, the whatever they call that shaft, clean it all off because then you'll have your coupler for your rear end. And then they put a bearing mount on that outbound side. And there's four or six bolts that hold that thing on.
Well, the only bad part is the bad boy I got, the batteries that caused the frame to rot out right there where the batteries were at. And there was no motor on front or rear, but everything else was there.
Yeah, it's very common those frames rot out because of the hydrochloric acid.
If they would just take and put a stainless steel pan under them batteries, that would slow it down some from happening. It would slow it down from happening that quick.
That makes sense. They wouldn't do that.
No. Or even Rhino line, the frame would help.
Yep.
Well, you know why they don't do that?
Because they don't want to spend the money.
You got it.
Yep.
Any way that companies can save money, they're going to want to do it. They don't care about how long it's going to last, really. They just care about the bottom dollar.
Yeah, I've got a couple projects coming up too now. Actually, 3. I got the 3-cylinder Simplicity diesel. My brother's looking into getting the parts for that. One of the websites that Andrew sent me, or Thomas sent me, actually has the whole gasket kit, pistons, rings, the whole thing in a kit. It's the rebuild kit. I don't remember if it comes with rods, but I think it does come with bearings. They have valves and stuff like that too available, I believe. So got that project. My brother just picked up a tow behind mower that won't run. So I'm going to get that running for him. And then my nephew has a Cub Cadet 4-seater UTV, which he can't find any kind of a service manual on the engine. He can't even figure out what kind of engine's in it. He's talking about pulling that engine out and putting a twin cylinder in it, and asked if I'd be interested in helping do that. So, yeah, we've got some projects coming up.
Sounds fun, actually.
Hey, does the Tractor Man deal with like small tractors in the garden plows or anything?
Nope.
Oh.
I got the name because I used to drive 18-wheelers long haul.
Oh.
So where do you do all your mini bike and go-kart stuff at?
I used to have a YouTube channel, but I hadn't done nothing on it in quite a while. I've been building metal tree stands for people and all over the last few years.
Because I've been watching Cars and Cameras. I didn't know if you're familiar with them.
Oh yeah, I've been following them since they had 100-something subscribers.
They're in your neck of the woods too, ain't they, Jay?
They're in North Carolina, actually.
Oh yeah.
Well, you remember that rail or that slingshot dragster they made?
The first rail, yeah.
Yeah. That gave me an idea, and I got lucky. I want to build a mini.
What the hell is going on here?
And everything. And I got lucky. I walked into my Harbor Freight, and over there in the return area were two Predator 670s.
Really?
I got both of them for $800.
You want to hear something funny? If any of the motors that this carries back to Harbor Freight has oil in them, they're supposed to take them and put them in the dumpster. All you got to do is go behind Harbor Freight and look in the dumpster and pull them out. 9 out of 10 times it's something cheap to fix those motors. I've seen people pull them out, spend 30, 40, maybe $50 and have a complete running motor with no problems.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I got lucky a while back. There was a mistake on one of their coupons they put out. They had the Predator 670 is what, about $800?
$800 or $900 right there, something like that.
Okay. And you remember when they had the 708?
Yeah.
And that was what, about $1,000?
Something like that. It was more than the 670. I don't know how much more, but yeah.
It was about $1,000. And I got lucky. They actually had the coupon come out one time. And on the coupon, it said on there, $6.99 with coupon for either the 670 or 708. It was on the coupon, and I had it on my phone. And I went to my local store, and they had the 708. I got it. Went up. They scanned the coupon. And I said, "No, that coupon's not good for this motor." I go, "It says on there it's for the 670 or 708. Manager came over, looked at it, go, "It says for either one, so we got to honor it."
Yep.
For $700, we're talking. I think it was about $300 off.
That's a heck of a deal.
And I got that motor, put it on my mower, and man,
hey Mick.
Hey Mick.
Hi Mick, how you doing, buddy?
Well, you never see Mick here, huh?
Mick don't make it to this neck of the woods very often.
No,
he's usually working.
Well, most of the time, most of the people on that side of the world, they're already in bed sleeping.
Mick works at night.
Yeah. Mick's a night work.
Yeah, but like I said, most of the time, most of the people that are over there, they're sleeping because it's what, midnight or later?
Well, yeah, we got
1:30.
According to exactly where he's at, yeah.
But yeah, now the only problem I had with that 708 was I don't know what it was, but undoubtedly something from the factory carburetor was junk. It just kept wanting to let the thing run too rich, ordered another one off of eBay, put it on there, and it ran so much smoother, not burning as much fuel.
Yeah.
I'd taken the factory one off and gone through it about 3 times and cleaning it, this, that, and the other.
They use them cheap Chinese carbs and all, and a lot of times they're just thrown together so quick it's got junk parts in them.
Yeah.
Your best bet's to take it off and get a Cooney or something like that to go on it.
Yep.
Oh, I just got one that was a direct replacement. I mean, same manufacturer and everything, and put it on there, and everything worked fine.
Or you can do like a buddy of mine done. He built an adapter plate and put a Weber side draft off of a 4-cylinder Datsun on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't think about that.
He modified the intake to where it rolled from being a top mount carb to side mount and put that side draft Weber on there and talking about wake a motor up.
Huh.
Dang.
I bet it would.
Oh yeah.
Well, I know for me, like once I get that, once I can get started again on getting that little mini rail built,
Yeah.
I've got the blower and everything back here for it. Yeah, it's gonna have a blower.
I
And
think you ought to
one
come on up there, Mick.
Mater, what are you using for a blower? Are you using the smog pump off of a motor and converting it to be like a belt driven supercharger?
Nope. It's an actual root style supercharger coming off of BMW.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Cool.
This is an actual, and this is the biggest one. They have a 350 and then they got a 500, and I actually got the 500. But it's the same one that Redbeard he used.
Right.
With Redbeard, he put that one on that 670. He used the 350. I got the 500, which is a little bit bigger.
But are you wanting to build a slingshot, or you wanting to build an actual like a rail like the Top Fuel dragster?
I'm wanting to build a mini Top Fuel where the engine's sitting behind me.
If I'm not mistaken, if you look, there's a couple different sites online. I can't remember exactly what they are, but they got the actual dimensions and everything for the junior dragsters that run the little 6.5 horse alcohol motors.
Right.
But you can get that, and you can modify it to where it be wider and all that to handle a grown person instead of a small child.
I missed out on it a while back. I missed out on the junior dragster frame for $100.
Oh man, that's a damn $1,000 for the frame alone.
Yeah, I know, and I found it for $100, and I missed out on it. That's why when I found those two Predator 670s, and I talked to them, and I got both of them for $800. I loaded them up and took them home with me. I still got them.
Oh heck yeah!
Now I haven't even taken them apart yet. I haven't done anything to them.
Yeah,
No
well,
video from yesterday, Ed.
what's that?
No video of plowing yesterday.
Well, why not, Jeff?
We had issues.
Uh-oh.
It didn't plow or what?
It plowed, but it looked more like a ripper than a plow.
Oh,
It started off right wrong from the morning because I was trying to put this thing together by myself and get it done quick because all these other guys with the big tractors were already there. And I started out right from the beginning. I had the plow lines on the center of the tractor instead of the one side like it should have been.
mm-hmm.
So right about noontime, the kid that runs the farm, he helped me. We unbolted it, moved it over, and I was looking at it, and we flipped the sleeve over to try and get it over further.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up breaking the bolts where the sleeve goes on. So I had 2 pins holding this thing on.
Well, at least you got to drop it in the dirt.
Yeah, I didn't think about it when I put it on. I should have, because I took a rock and I just scrubbed like the top of the drawbar. I had to scrub the paint off it to get it on there by myself. But I was
Yeah.
looking at it today. And I don't know if the beam's bent. It's got like it's actually like 2.5 pieces by about 1.5 or something that comes up, and right when it gets almost to where the sleeve bolts in, it's got a bend in it.
Yeah. Is it
I
supposed to
don't
be
know if
there?
it's supposed to have that or not.
Yeah.
Ed,
I don't know. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, how far are you from Sykeston, Missouri?
I don't know. I'd have to look on MapQuest. Pretty far, I think.
The reason I was asking is because I've been finding out about something they're going to be having in September, and um, the class and everything that they were talking about. Like, that'd be perfect for Ed and Mark. They're actually
Yes.
there's a 8 mile drag strip there. They're going to have what's it called, a No Name Nationals, and it's for people that are on YouTube and everything. As long as you got 500 subs or more,
Oh.
I think you might qualify for that.
Yeah.
Mark,
Yeah.
Mark's kind of pushing the limit on that.
Yeah.
I'm going, damn, I'd like to see them bring their pulling tractors up for drag racing.
So that's the thing. We wouldn't do very good. We're not geared for speed.
There's,
We're
they're
now.
about, they're
Now,
about,
if you want to hook like 5 or 6 of them to ours, we might tow them around.
Hey, Puller, I could just imagine you putting a set of slicks on your tractor, jacking it up to high RPM like you do when you take off the line and dumping the clutch. You'd either roll off the back or flip the whole thing and cartwheel it.
It'd probably be up on the wheelie bars pretty hard.
Yeah, I was gonna
If you
say
didn't bend them.
you might have to extend them wheelie bars out a little bit further.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see you go down through there though, because
Yeah.
it'd get up there real fast, but I don't know if it would last a whole quarter mile. I might have to drop it to a 16th.
No, it's only 8 mile track.
Well,
Or 8th mile. You'd have to drop it to a 16th for the way the gear ratio is on them pullers.
yeah, we top out about 20, 22 mile an hour.
Well, I've seen a kid on a mini bike one time, and they were at the 8th mile over by me, and I think they were doing maybe 42.
Yeah. Oh, some of them little mowers, those guys do them belt swaps on, pulley swaps on. They'll get up to 50, 60 mile an hour.
Oh yeah.
The fat cycle run 45 mile an hour with my big butt on there, and I was
Oh,
550
got
at the
into
time.
too, huh?
Now
Yeah,
the weird one I saw out there was a guy came out, and it was a motorcycle, but he had 2 V-twin Harleys on it.
Oh, good lord!
Yeah. He had 2, and mind you, this was all for Harleys and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it was like, damn, he had 2 V-twin Harleys sitting on that bike.
I don't know if you guys follow the Dragon Drive stuff, but I was watching. I follow Alex Taylor Racing. She literally blew her own doors off on her 55.
I seen that.
Really?
That was wild.
Yep.
That car was moving when it went down through there, wasn't it?
200. I forget 200 and some mile an hour, but the window caved in and broke. Ballistic windshield blew in and broke, and then it pushed out so much on the door windows that it ripped the outer skins off the doors
And blew the back glass out.
and blew the black back glass out of it.
wow.
I seen that. That was wild.
She is one lucky young lady.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
I seen the video afterwards. She has carbon fiber tubs in the back for the wheel wells. Chunks of that ballistic glass put holes in that carbon fiber.
Damn.
She had not a scratch one on her.
Nope.
There was a piece that you could see that it hit the roll bar and stuff and went right back along her left side, and went in between the roll bar and the body that was pointed. So yeah, she is one lucky young lady that she didn't get cut up and stuff.
She had
Yeah,
protective hands wrapped around her.
yeah.
Most
What kind of
definitely.
car was it?
55 Chevy, 55 or 56 Chevy,
Bel
Bel
Air.
Air. Yeah, Bel Air.
Damn.
No shoebox, and
Yep.
it's blue and patinaed from all hell. But yeah, she blew her own door skins off.
Yep.
That's how
Man.
fat.
Now,
Was it
carbon
200?
fiber, that's some tough stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to go through that, man.
Yeah, and what
Hey, Lizzie.
when they were showing the follow up video, on it, it didn't actually break the carbon fiber. It broke the glue that held the outer panel to the inner panel door.
Oh, okay.
So it just ripped that outer panel off because the glass, the plexi or whatever it was in the doors was pushing out so much on that outer panel that the wind must have got down in there or whatever and just pushed the door still functioned fine. The power windows don't, but the doors do.
Is that on YouTube?
Yeah.
What's the? Who has a link to it?
Alex Taylor Racing. Let me see if I can grab a link.
Damn.
I gotta see that.
Well, I know out here at the Motorplex and everything, they've had some wild rides and everything out there.
Oh yeah, raising Cajun. Yeah, Missy made some red beans and rice with some smoked sausage in it from the slaughterhouse. Oh man, and fried pork chops. Oh,
Making me hungry now.
That's my job.
Daryl, get your pens out.
Said she run 212.45 miles an hour when she blew the doors off her car.
That's the follow up video right there.
Okay, I'll better find the other one from that one. That'll work. Thank you.
And I'll actually post the one where she blew her doors off also.
Yeah, I've got
212 miles an hour.
Yep.
I'll watch it later.
That is rolling.
Yeah,
Right
she
click, open link in new tab, and there it is. Didn't even
and-
bother me right here.
she does the drag and drive. So that car that doing 200 and some mile an hour
She
actually
drives it to the race course.
Yep.
That's wild.
They do like week-long events that have like 4 or 5 race days, and they drive from track to track.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
She put over 2,000 miles on that car last year.
That's another version of kind of like the hot rod power tour thing.
Yes, basically it's the same thing, but it's actually becoming a very popular event. 6 Second Racing, it's SICK. Tom Bailey, he is actually promoting a lot of them races now. Sick Week down in Florida. I think he did one in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing one out in Death Valley this summer at Sick Summer. They do one up in his home track up in Michigan. He's really promoting it. He's the very first person that went 5 seconds in a street car.
No.
Yeah. Quote unquote.
Yeah. It's a pro mod, but it's a drag and drive car. They drive it from event to event.
Yeah, the people.
It's tagged and insured.
Yeah, but I heard out.
And he is the first
And
one.
if you miss a track, a race, you out, ain't you?
Something like that.
You're not out, but you're down in the
penalized.
points.
Right. Yeah. Correct.
I think they're supposed to be doing one at the Freedom Factory down there with Cletus McFarlane and all this summer, ain't they?
It's not at the Fantasy Factory. It's or the Freedom Factory. It's the Bristol or not Bristol, the one right next door to it.
They own the drag strip now too.
Oh, he does own it now too.
He owns the drag strip and
Yeah.
the race course, everything right there. He owns that whole complex.
Yeah, they just did one this past spring there.
Yeah.
Down in Florida. They're gonna do it again. But it seems like all the drag and drive events are over on the East Coast area.
Mm-hmm.
So Tom Bailey wanted all the guys out west were traveling, clear over to this side of the country to do these things. He wanted to take one to them, so they're going to do one out in Arizona and stuff through Death Valley and that. And the way it works is like the first day you run, you set your time, you apply, you get in certain classes, but then there's a dedicated route you have to go to the next track because there's checkpoints you have to stop and get pictures of you in your car at that checkpoint, and they don't reveal the checkpoints until the day of the race.
So you can't bypass or skip anything.
You can't go ahead of time and get pictures.
Exactly.
So when you after you turn in your time slip for that day, they give you the route and stuff for the next day where you may know the track where you're going, but you don't know what route you have to take to get your pictures and stuff. So but yeah, I've been really getting into the drag and drive stuff,
I'd love to build a tour with them and watch them at all the different drag strips.
Well, one of my things I would love to do is a power tour.
Darryl went outside enjoying a nice breeze.
Yeah.
Well, that doggone puppy will not leave me alone, so I had to come out here and just let it run for a little bit. Trying to burn some energy off.
ATV's making us jealous sitting out there on the porch and all. I'm having to sit inside because it's raining here in South Georgia.
Well, it's supposed to be here in the morning, so
I'm sitting in my garage.
I was thinking about being in my garage, but I went over to Mom's this evening and had dinner and stuff with her, and didn't have time to set it up out there. So
it's cloudy up here.
We're here today, but yeah, I would like to do a power tour. That's another reason I want to buy one of those mini school buses with a van front, convert it into like a kind of a makeshift camper. But I want to use it for towing and hauling my pulling tractors. But if I want to go do something like that, I can go get in the long haul club and do that. So
Why don't you get one of those U-Haul trucks converted over?
I thought about that. They want an arm and a leg for those. I found those mini school buses for like $500.
The school buses you can buy a lot cheaper.
Yeah. And the back door, make it a little bit extra wide to put the ramp and everything.
Yeah.
Well, or either just put a reach hitch under the back and pull a covered trailer and all with your tractor and everything else in the trailer.
426 Super B.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. They're 1 ton. They got a 6-liter LS motor in them usually.
Yeah.
So they got plenty of room for tool storage and all that kind of stuff that I want to do and all that. So
you could actually do side boxes on it underneath the floor and all on the sides to where you can put storage under there.
Yep, I looked at that too. Generator storage and stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
But I was actually looking at old ambulances because like the top kicks and stuff.
Oh God, they're so daggum heavy though.
Yeah.
The fuel mileage would suck on one of those.
Yeah, the fuel mileage would suck on them, but from what I can gather, they're city geared.
Oh God,
they're not highway geared.
So
they'll run 70 mile an hour, but they're screaming.
Yeah, I think that change the chunk out.
Yeah, yep. And from what I can tell, I've looked at a few of those guys that have bought those. The undersides of them things are so rotted out, they keep the outsides nice and clean, but they don't clean the undersides.
If they would wash out from under them every day before they put them in the garage and all, that underside wouldn't rot as fast. Yep. All that salt and everything else eats them frames to pieces up there.
Yep.
I don't know, come down here and buy them because we don't have that problem down here.
Yep. But yeah, I found an auction that had them down in Georgia. They had 3 of them, and not one of them went more than $500. Do you think they would have another auction with more of them buses since then?
There is actually a small junkyard somewhere down here around where I'm at. The people has got probably 4 or 5 acres worth of all different kinds of school buses going all the way back to the 60s. That's all that's out there in them fields and all. Is nothing but school buses, all different sizes.
Yeah, there's a place up here by me that does that, and they've got 3 of those van front school buses sitting right out front,
Uh-huh.
not for sale.
Oh,
Wow.
these, you go up there, they'll sell you anything they got.
Well, I know what this guy's doing. He's waiting for the LSs to. He's going to pull the LSs out of them and sell them.
Yeah.
The motors and trainings.
I was at Grumpy Stacks' tire shop Friday, and I seen a V. What I thought that was V8 at first, and I was like, "Man, what's that motor?" He said, "That's a LS1," and I looked at it and I was like, "Man, that's a V6." He said, "Yep." I said, "I didn't know they made the LS1 and the V6." He said, "Sure do." I'm like, okay, I learned something new today.
So, but that motor and drivetrain is what we run at work. So I know them.
LS, LT.
Yep, 6 liters. 6 liter. The Econoline, the express vans is what we run at work. So
Yeah.
I'm.
Hey,
Must have said
Mudge.
not an LS one. Not even an LT one.
No, LT1 is the old Corvette motors, the 350
Okay.
Corvette motors.
All right.
LS1 is the 6 liter V8. I'm trying to remember what the V6 is. It's a LS style, but it's got different initials, so I just don't remember
Oh,
what they are.
okay. Well, he said LS. He didn't say LS1. He just LS. I'm like, oh, I didn't know they made that in 6. He said, yeah.
They
Yeah,
make an
okay.
LS style V6. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they originally come out the LS base motor was a iron block.
Yep. Well, mine's a 4.8 LS iron block with aluminum heads.
No carb on this one. It's like a whatever it is. It's flat on top
Yep.
for the fuel intake.
Well,
It's a
that was-
fuel
that
injection
was-
with
that
the
was-
air intake. Yeah, that's the new style. Puller, have you seen that 300 inline 6 they built with the chopped up LS Chevrolet heads on it?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that thing is wild.
Yep.
And making some horsepower. Good gracious, is it making some power?
Yep.
They call it a Frankenstein.
Different
Yeah,
parts.
the true LS is an all aluminum block, but the cast iron block is the exact same motor, just has a cast iron block on it.
Most of the cast iron ones were pickup truck motors, though.
Truck motors, yeah.
Yep.
Truck
and that's
van
what
motors.
I got. And the numbers on the heads on mine is the one that everybody wants for building race motors with off the 4.8s.
Yep.
I think it's model number 293 or 296 aluminum head.
Yeah, mine's the 5.3.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple guys ask me, hey, you interested in getting rid of that? I'm like, nope.
I don't like the 5.3 as much as I do that 4.8 because the 4.8 will turn up a lot faster.
Yeah, but I like my 5.3. I'd like to have a 6 liter, but
I just want to put the same cam and get that turbo like that one guy. He's got I think it's an old, about a 85 or 86 LTD 4-door.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a 4.8 truck motor. He put a little bit bigger cam in it and a single turbo, and it's putting 1,100 and something horsepower at the rear wheels.
Dang.
With a 4.8.
Yeah, Budster just said 299 heads on a 4.8.
No. The ones that they called that they were looking for and running off of Hot Rod TV and all building that Pro Build motor, I think was a 293 or 296 model head. It's got the valves, the bigger valve size or something in it. But they were only on 4.8s, I believe is what they said.
Yeah, I like the Vortex motor, but
Yeah, me too.
me, I'm old school. Give me the standard old small block Chevy.
My I got a 91 sitting out here with a 350 in it. That's all I want.
I drive a Chevrolet, but I'd rather have my old Ford 302. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I grew up with Fords.
My
I grew up
my,
on
my,
all of them.
my
Yeah.
little old 350. If it needs something, I can do it usually. So
Or you
Well,
can go
something-
real old school like my 54 out there with the 223 inline six that still runs.
Yeah, that's I was gonna say the old inline sixes can't kill them.
Yeah.
No,
115 horsepower factory.
I had a buddy in high school. I had a buddy in high school that had an El Camino that had an old El Camino that had a straight six in it. He had a 350 built to put in it, but his dad said until that 6-cylinder dies, we're not swapping it. He would drop that thing into low one and drive it all over town. That thing was screaming. He did that for like 3 months. Finally, his dad caught him and said, "Let's just do the swap. You're never going to kill that motor."
Yeah.
That is about like
Running
the
all that
old.
gas for nothing.
Yep.
go
About-
go
Go ahead.
the old Chrysler slant six. You couldn't tear them some bitches up. Neither.
225 slant six. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
I seen a buddy of mine run one with just a quarter oil in it for 3 months straight, and that motor would not blow up.
Right.
I'm like,
Oh, I like the old
Lord.
Cutlass 442s. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, the truck garage I worked at when I started there, we had an old Dodge half ton. It had 3/4 ton suspension under it with an old 318 in it, and them guys would beat that 318 unmercifully.
Yeah.
And finally it was tired, and the shifter was like, it would just flop around. The Syncros are going bad in the transmission and everything else. And the boss found one that had a 4-cylinder diesel in it. Don't know what, I think it was an Isuzu diesel or something somebody put in it. That little thing, you could actually put a brick on the gas pedal. It would hit 60 mile an hour, and that's where it stayed. And it didn't matter. It had a 1-ton suspension under it.
Good Lord.
And it did not matter if that thing had a Caterpillar block in the back of it or if it was empty. It would run 60 mile an hour, up hills, down hills. Downhill, it would just 60 mile an hour. Up hills, 60 mile an hour. And that's all you could get out of it. I love that truck.
probably had the governor and everything set on it for that.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it was an actual power plant motor because it was a yard truck that they used someplace in the yard.
Yep.
And they just flopped that motor in there to make the thing run. But when we bought it, the owner, he plated it and everything else, and that become our shop truck. And like I said, we'd run down to the scrap or down to the salvage yard and get heads and blocks and everything else, transmissions, wet lines, whatever we needed, throw them in the back of that sucker, and it didn't care.
Yep. There's a yard up the road from me that they've been taking Chevy and Ford trucks and yanking the V8s out of them and putting that little 4-cylinder Cummins in them, getting them converted over. And they're saying they got a lot more. They got as much horsepower and more torque, and the fuel mileage is a lot better.
You talking about the little Ford BTs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen them where they're taking those and putting them in truck, 4-wheel drives and all, and putting turbos and all on them and getting ungodly power out of them.
Yep. And I mean, fuel mileage is so much better than V8.
And the torque is what helps them out. They are ungodly on torque on them 4 BTs.
Yep. I mean, I had my 93 that had the 5.9 coming. And man, you talking about something, I think it was rated at 140 horses, but I think 400 foot of torque. It wouldn't go fast, but man, I tell you, it pulled the power. I mean, it had the power to pull something.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to convert my old 54 over and put a 4 BT in it with a turbo.
I got that Mitsubishi 4-cylinder or 3-cylinder diesel out here in the garage. It's too big to put on a pulling tractor, but I'd like to find something to do with it.
It's never too big to pull on a pulling tractor, Bear.
No.
Cubic inch wise, yes, I couldn't fit in the class. They wouldn't let me.
Well, I should say I shared that picture with you on Instagram that one time where that guy put that 440 wedge motor on the daggum tractor frame.
Yeah. Yeah.
We there's a pulling club down here in Texas, and they got one guy. Hell, he's got a fully blown 318 on a tractor for pulling.
Yeah.
So-
They make mini rods that have the V or 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders, and V8s. But for the diesel class, you're only allowed X amount of cubic inches.
Mm.
So
And that 3-cylinder just exceeds it, don't it?
by a little bit. It's like 30 or 32 horse.
You know what?
You're allowed to 25.
Have you thought about maybe finding some of these old reefer units and pulling that 2-cylinder diesel off of those to put on a pull tractor?
Well, those are 3-cylinder diesels, and that's what they use. But
Not
around
all
here,
of them. Not all of some of the old what they call what was the name of them? King something.
Thermal King.
Thermal Kings had 2-cylinder diesels in them. Some of the older units.
Yeah, the ones they want for pulling are I think they're 1107s. But around here, you can't touch one.
Too expensive.
Yep.
That's like around here for some daggum reason. Jeep bodies don't even have to have a motor or nothing. It just old rusty, ragged out body is going for anywhere from $3,500 to $6,500 without a motor and transmission in it. And I'm like, people have gone nuts.
Yeah.
Well, 10 years ago around here, I could go down to the salvage yard and pull those motors out of those Thermal Kings, $200-$300 all day long. Now you go down, want to buy one, they're $1,000-$1,500.
You'd be better off buying the whole trailer from somebody that's got one and then pulling the motor out yourself and use the trailer for storage.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm wondering what
Yeah.
I know. Yesterday, every Saturday we have a place that has an auction for cars, and they actually had a '51 Willys Jeep. They still had the 4-cylinder Go Devil engine in it. And I'm going, I probably could have picked that up for about $500.
Depending on who was there bidding on it.
Yeah.
Well, true.
I mean,
But, the thing about it is it costs you $200 to get a bidder's card, and the way the auction works is whatever you bid on, say you get, you bid something and it's $300. Okay, that $200 you've already spent, that goes towards whatever you got
yeah.
and everything. So then all you have to do is come up with the remainder. But now,
Yeah.
say you don't win anything, you're $200 back.
Yeah. Well, that's so they can guarantee they're guaranteed to get at least $200 out of you. But if you decide you wanted to buy something and didn't want to pay them, so
Yeah.
But my 426 Super B. Now you talking about something that has gotten ridiculously expensive. It's so try to find something between a 68 to 74 Plymouth or a Dodge, and I mean them Dodges and Plymouths. I mean, I got a neighbor down here that has built two Barracudas, and you talking about something expensive now. Trying to find parts for that daggum thing. We went all the way to Carlisle, Pennsylvania last year, and man, they thought them damn things was made of gold. Them parts was made of gold up there.
Well, I was friends with a guy for many years that in his storage garage, which I knew nothing about until like the last couple of years that we were friends, he had 20 plus original Hemi engines with less than 1,000 miles on them.
Oh,
Wow.
Damn.
That was that's his retirement.
I can imagine.
ATV, I got something you probably would love to have.
What's that?
Sitting in my backyard right now is a 76 440 with 727 steel crank forged piston factory motor with less than 75,000 miles on it.
He would. This neighbor would love that. He's got one that's a 440 now, but the last one he just stuck a 318 in it because he said that was going to be his everyday driver, and that's what he built that one for.
Yeah. This one is it's a 76.
A 76.
Steel crank with the forged pistons and all factory with the 4-barrel. It's in an RV that used to belong to my uncle before he died.
Yeah,
I got it sitting in my backyard. I'm waiting because the body of the RV is falling apart. I'm going to pull the motor and transmission out of it, put it in something else.
The later 440s, like 75 and later, they're not as desirable as the early ones because cylinder walls and the heads, parts wise, yeah, but as far as block wise, most of the guys that are looking for a 440, they're looking for
the early wedge motor and stuff.
Well, I mean, they're still all a wedge. Okay. Yeah. I mean, any of your B and RB engines are going to be a wedge. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that the later years and everything, they went lower compression on them, which means the heads are not the desirable ones. The cylinder walls, they didn't have them as thick. And a few other things.
He's got a 1970 that's all original numbers matching and everything else. I mean, he's got that car. He's got that car just like it came off the showroom floor. It's a
heck yeah.
It's a 440 4-speed, and I mean, he's just sitting on that song, but I mean, but I mean, you can go look around. You look around. I mean, it's Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or anything else, and they're just for a daggum pile of junk.
Yep.
That's sitting there, and
they want a fortune for it.
Yeah, I mean, they won't. I seen one the other day that was in pieces, and they wanted $15,000 for it.
Oh, good Lord!
I see a guy on Facebook. He was advertising a 69 Charger. The guy wanted $7,500 for it. Let's see, there was no frame rails up underneath it because they were all rotted away. No floor pan or trunk, and some of the quarter panel was rotted away. No interior, no motor, no transmission. He still wanted $7,500 for it.
Yeah.
He was selling it just so somebody could have the VIN number and all to put on another vehicle is basically what he was doing.
Yeah, but doing something like that, it's still not going to be the same thing. You'd have to.
Yeah.
You would spend so much money trying to get that thing,
Somebody would probably give him $2,500 or something like that, and then turn it into a pro mod just for the outer skins and all.
Yeah. I mean, I got lucky. For me, I got lucky. I can't remember if it was either 70 or 71 Challenger. Originally a 340 4-speed car. The guy was doing a full restoration on it, and mind you, this was over 20 years ago. And they cut the driver's side quarter panel off. They said, "Oh, we found too much rust," so they decided to junk it. I got the whole thing for free.
Yeah.
He gave me the shell. A bare shell. I still got the front suspension. I'll give that to you also for free. And it's like, okay, fine. Because I used to do dirt track races. Like, yeah, that'd be perfect for something like that. And I went up to Oklahoma to a guy that had nothing but Mopars. I got a hood, both fenders, both doors, trunk lid, and a rear end for $200.
So you just put a whole car back together.
Well, basically, I mean, I told the guy I was looking for sheet metal that doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, one of the fenders has got some rust and everything in it. He goes, "Well, that ain't good enough to be able to put on a car for the street." I go, "That's the kind of sheet metal I'm looking for because I put it on this car. It's all going to be welded back together. It's going to be on a dirt track. It's going to get beat up and banged on.
Yeah.
Who cares what it looks like?"
Well,
Eight
if you
three
got
quarter
decent, if you got decent parts, Mater, I would find me another type of beater car and sell the damn parts for that there. I'm talented. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I'm,
like I said, the doors. I mean, they've already been gutted.
well, is
You'd be
And I
surprised
sheet
how
metal
many
good
people
on?
will buy them anyway, even if they're gutted, if they need
Yeah,
a restoration part.
yeah,
Yep.
And they'll do what little bit of cutting and patching and all to fix them up, get all the little rust holes out of it.
yeah.
yeah,
And so they'll
well, I
have
know,
an original door back on the car.
The
well, I
smaller the
know
piece,
right. Well, I
the,
know I've got the hood. It's already got the twin scoops on it, and it's also been drilled and everything for hood pins.
the
The
smaller
small,
the piece, the higher the price.
that's exactly right.
Yep. But I mean, I've got the doors. Like I said, I've got the doors, the hood, both fenders. And to
Dang.
me, both fenders would have to be fixed because there's one spot down at the very bottom. There's a section about this much of it. That sheet metal has to be cut out and patch panels put in there.
You can buy the patch panels for them fenders and all pretty
Yeah,
fairly
they
decent prices. All you gotta do is cut the old one off, put the new one in place, tack it, get it in straightened up, and just stitch weld it till
Yep.
it's solid.
I've
Yep.
got sheet metal out here I can cut out.
Yeah.
later
I think
426.
I got some 18 gauge out here I cut up and put in there.
Good night, Super B.
Well, Super B's out of here. It's been our hour, guys. I only go an hour. I really appreciate it. I hope everybody had a great Mummies Day. Jay, thank you for stopping in, brother, and checking in with us. I
Yeah,
really do
figured I'd
appreciate
show
that.
up.
So, everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you Friday night on Daryl's.
All righty. Good night, everybody.
Have a
All
good
right.
one, y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Have a great week.
Yep.
Love, peace, and crackling grease, since we lost Cage in there for a minute. Have a good evening, everybody.